At the press conference for Stella's new film, she told me she had a surprise waiting. I was sure this was it, the moment she would finally announce our relationship to the world. My heart hammered in my chest, and I spent the entire night sleepless with excitement. I arrived in my sharpest suit, cradling a bouquet of 999 crimson roses I had painstakingly arranged. But as I stood there, beaming, she glanced at me under the glare of the media cameras and introduced me with a cool, dismissive air. "Oh, him? He's just the man I hired to fetch the flowers." Then, she took the bouquet from my stunned hands and presented it to her co-star, Leo. "On screen, you were my fated lover," she cooed into the microphone. "Off screen, will you be my real boyfriend?" Staring at her, bathed in the glow of the spotlights, a profound cold seeped into my bones. In that instant, I understood. It was time to let go. The blinding flashes from the cameras made my eyes ache. I stood frozen, watching Stella and Leo embrace passionately, while the bouquet I had so carefully chosen was unceremoniously dropped, its crimson petals crushed under the indifferent feet of the dispersing crowd. Each broken stem felt like a shard of my own heart. She was the one who told me there would be a special surprise just for me at the premiere. I had even bought a diamond ring, ready to propose the second. Our 5-year underground relationship was brought into the light. But the moment that awaited me was not one of triumph, but of utter devastation. She did indeed go public with a relationship, just not with me. It was with the hot new actor she had known for a mere 6 months. I felt the velvet box in my pocket, the custom-made ring within it now feeling impossibly heavy. The air buzzed with the excitement of the film industry's newest power couple. No one noticed the man standing in the shadows, my smile a bitter, twisted thing. I turned and walked away from the chaos. The moment I sat in my car, my phone rang. It was Stella. Her voice was sharp with impatience. "Where did you go? I told you to wait for me." My gaze fell on the small photo hanging from the rearview mirror. It was the only picture we had together, and in it, she was mostly in profile. She always claimed she hated having her picture taken. How had I been so blind? She was a celebrated actress, a creature born for the camera. Of course she didn't hate it. She just hated being photographed with me. A lump formed in my throat. "Is there anything you want to say to me?" "Say to you? Stop changing the subject and get back here right now." She hung up before I could reply. A humorless laugh escaped my lips. Ignoring her command, I started the engine and drove home. When Stella returned late that night, I had just finished packing my clothes. Her eyes landed on the suitcase by my feet, and her face instantly darkened. "Where do you think you're going?" I met her gaze, a gaze now filled with a familiar look of disdain, and answered calmly, "I'm moving out." "Liam, what is this nonsense? Don't be ridiculous." I said nothing, simply wheeling my suitcase towards the door. "This is getting old. Where would you even go without me?" Seeing that I wasn't stopping, a flicker of panic entered her eyes. She rushed over and grabbed my arm, her tone softening. "Liam, please don't be angry. You know how this industry is. My hands are often tied. You're my assistant, my boyfriend. You, of all people, should support me." Her words were so absurd, I almost laughed. Forced? No one dared to force Stella, the reigning queen of the box office, to do anything. "Then tell me," I asked, my voice flat, "who forced you to confess your love to Leo?" A heavy silence filled the living room. She averted her gaze, a clear sign of her guilt. "It was just for publicity. My new movie is out. Everyone is shipping us as a couple. It's all an act, Liam. Don't be jealous. The person I love, from the beginning to the end, has only ever been you," she whispered, wrapping her arms around my waist and planting a soft kiss on my cheek. The declaration felt sickeningly familiar. It reminded me of 5 years ago, after I'd bought my first car with my own earnings. We were out for a drive when we crashed. On that deserted highway, it was Stella who had dragged my unconscious body from the overturned car, saving me from the fire that engulfed it moments later. When I woke up in the hospital, she was there, crying, telling me I was the only man she would ever love, that if I had died, she would have followed. Her words had sealed my fate. I fell for her completely. I defied my family, abandoned my inheritance, a multi-billion-dollar legacy, to become her dedicated personal assistant. I was with her through grueling all-nighters as an unknown extra, supporting her every step of the way until she became the celebrated star she was today. And what was my reward? She was blind to my sacrifices, publicly mocking me as a mere servant. How could I ever forgive that? Before I could speak, her phone rang. The ringtone, a custom jingle I had made for her, sang out. Hubby is calling. Pick up the phone. I froze. She had always refused to use it, claiming her status was too sensitive. If anyone heard it, it would cause a scandal. It wasn't that she couldn't use it, I realized with a dawning, bitter clarity. It was just that the hubby was never me. She answered the phone, and I clearly heard Leo's voice on the other end. Stella, baby, I think I'm catching a cold. I have a slight fever. Can you come over? Worry immediately etched itself onto Stella's face. Still holding the phone, she started putting on her shoes. Stay right there. I'm on my way. I grabbed her wrist. He has a fever. He should call a doctor, not you. She scowled, ripping her arm from my grasp. What is wrong with you? Have you no compassion? She stormed out of the apartment without a backward glance. I looked at my empty hand. What had I been hoping for? I placed my set of keys on the entryway table, took one last look at the home we had shared, and knew it was over. I pulled out my phone and sent her a simple text. We're done. Later that night, Leo updated his social media. It was a picture of Stella, her face alight with joy, caressing a diamond ring on her ring finger. The caption read, "She said yes. Get ready for a wedding." A memory surfaced. Last year, when I was burning up with a high fever, Stella was too busy choosing outfits for a street style photo shoot to even get me a glass of water. When I finally begged her, my voice a raw whisper, her response had been sharp and cold. I'm not your mate. Why should I have to take care of you? Perhaps she had stopped loving me a long time ago. My fingers brushed against the ring box still in my pocket. I had tried to propose so many times over the past 2 years, but she always had an excuse. Wait until she was more famous. Wait until I could afford a house. Wait until after her next premiere. 2 years passed. She became a household name, and I used my own investments to buy a beautiful home for us. Yet she wouldn't even acknowledge my existence. Leo was just an up-and-coming actor with little to his name, yet she accepted his proposal without a second thought. Publicity stunt? What a joke. I let go of the doorknob and walked away without looking back. I was tired of bowing and scraping as someone's assistant. It was time to go home and inherit my fortune. I stood outside the gates of my family's villa for a long time before finally gathering the courage to go inside. I hadn't set foot in this house for 5 years. The moment I saw my parents, my eyes stung with tears. Mom, Dad, I choked out. I was wrong. Wrong to give up my future for Stella. Wrong to spend years by her side as a glorified servant. In the end, I had gained nothing and lost everything. My mother's eyes reddened with unshed tears, and a wave of guilt washed over me. My father came down the stairs. Where's that girlfriend of yours? Didn't she come with you? We broke up, I said with a bitter smile. My father paused. Broke up? Good. I never liked her. It's for the best. Sensing my despair, my mother nudged him. Now that it's over, you can look forward. You'll find someone better. My father sighed. It's true, she saved you back then. But if she hadn't been grabbing the steering wheel, you never would have crashed in the first place. We chose not to press charges, and you secretly helped her career for years. Without our family's influence, she'd be nothing. He was right, and I knew it. Stella had been furious that the car I bought wasn't a Mercedes or a BMW. She had berated me the entire drive, calling me useless. When I fell silent, she had become increasingly agitated, grabbing the steering wheel in a fit of pique. That single, reckless motion sent us careening off the road. Her meteoric rise wasn't just her own doing. I was the one behind the scenes, pulling strings, securing investors, even using my own credit cards to fund projects that would feature her. I never planned to hide it from her, but when I saw the genuine joy on her face, believing she had won over a director with her own talent, the words always died on my lips. I thought as long as she was happy, it didn't matter. The first time she was cast in a supporting role, she rested her head on my shoulder and promised she would marry me as soon as she found her footing in the industry. That promise spurred me to help her even more relentlessly, my mind filled with dreams of our future. But I waited and I waited. She never agreed to marry me. Instead, I got endless tabloid rumors about her and other men, and an attitude towards me that grew colder and more dismissive by the day. I should have known it was over the first time she ignored my feelings and let a rumor spread. Her heart was already gone. I smiled at my parents. Don't worry. I'll be fine. I've made my decision, and I'm not looking back. In the first few days, Stella called twice and sent 3 texts. I ignored them all. After that, she stopped trying. Perhaps out of anger, she even blocked me on social media. I knew it was her usual tactic for starting a Cold War. In the past, this would have sent me into a panic, desperate to appease her. This time, I just let it be. After spending a few quiet days with my parents, I went to Stella's studio to officially resign and handle the handover. My presence there had become largely symbolic anyway. Though I was technically still her assistant, she had sidelined me from her work for the better part of a year, only remembering my existence when she needed a favor. As I entered the parking garage, I saw Stella and Leo, hand in hand, getting out of her car. The smile on her face vanished the moment she saw me, replaced by a familiar look of irritation. She deliberately leaned closer to Leo. I simply glanced at them and tried to walk past. "Liam, stop right there," she snapped. "You've been absent without leave for days, and now you dare to give me this attitude?" Leo smirked. "Stella, darling, I don't think your assistant likes us being together." Stella scoffed. Who was he to have an opinion? "By the way, Leo wants a latte from the coffee shop next door. Go get him one." I laughed. Why should I? It seemed she hadn't even seen my breakup text, still ordering me around like a servant. Lost in the bliss of her new engagement, she probably hadn't given me a second thought. Leo tilted his chin up, his eyes glinting with contempt. "You're just the help. Do you really think you can call the shots?" I had no desire to argue. "We're broken up, Stella," I said coldly. "From now on, your business is none of my concern. And I'm here today to quit." Stella's face contorted. "What breakup? Who broke up with you? You're just my assistant," she shrieked. "Oh, really? Of course. Leo is a rising star with a limitless future. You're a worthless assistant. I'm not an idiot. Why would I ever choose you?" Hearing her belittle me so viciously in front of another man, vehemently denying our 5 years together, I felt like my entire past was a lie. I was done wasting my breath. I turned towards the elevator. But Leo wasn't finished. He lunged forward and grabbed my arm. "You think you can just slander Stella and walk away? Not so easy. I despise being touched by strangers, especially by someone as repulsive as Leo." With a sharp movement, I swatted his hand away. "Don't touch me. You're disgusting." My action ignited his temper. He lunged at me, and despite my attempts to disengage, he held on tight. Stella rushed over, trying to separate us. "Liam, let him go right now, or you're fired," she yelled. In her eyes, no matter what Leo did, he was in the right. Leo, seizing the opportunity, played the victim. "Stella, he's just jealous. He's trying to cause trouble." "Ow, my face. I think he scratched me." Hearing his cry, Stella shoved me with all her might. Caught off guard, I stumbled backward, directly into the path of an oncoming car. The driver, startled by my sudden appearance, slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. There was a sickening thud as the car hit me. The driver screamed. In a panic, she must have hit the accelerator instead of the brake, because the car lurched backward, then surged forward again, its wheels rolling towards me. "No." My eyes widened in terror. I reached a hand out towards Stella, a desperate, silent plea for help. But her attention was entirely on Leo. "Let's go, quickly." I heard her hiss at him. "Don't let the cameras see you. If he dies, he dies." My head slammed against something hard. A universe of pain exploded behind my eyes, and the world went black. In the blurry moments before consciousness faded, I saw her back as she hurried away with Leo. "Stella," I whispered, my last thought before the darkness consumed me. "We're even now." Her steps faltered. She turned, her face drained of all color, and for a moment, it looked like she might come back. But Leo whined. "Stella, my face is bleeding. What am I going to do? I start filming next week." Her hesitation vanished. She spun around and rushed to his side. "Let's get you to a doctor." Leo shot a triumphant, mocking glance in my direction. "What about your assistant?" he asked, a pretense of concern in his voice. Stella didn't even look at me. "His injuries can't be as important as yours. You're a public figure. He's just an assistant. This is all his fault anyway. Besides, the driver is still here. He'll be fine. Let's go." The last thing I saw was the two of them disappearing together. In that moment, the woman named Stella died in my heart. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. I refused the driver's offer of compensation. She was as much a victim as I was. As for Stella, I had no intention of pressing charges. She had saved my life once, and now I had paid that debt in full. We were clear. The next day, Sarah, another of Stella's assistants, came to visit. She had been with Stella for 3 years and was one of the few people who knew the truth about our relationship. "Liam, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Just a mild concussion." She hesitated, chewing on her lip. "Go on, Sarah," I said with a weak smile. "You can tell me." "Liam, Stella said you quit." I nodded. "Well, did you know she's demanding you pay her for emotional distress?" For a second, I thought I'd misheard. What? I have to pay her? I was the one lying in a hospital bed, yet I was supposed to compensate my attacker? You should check social media, she said grimly. I opened my phone. The incident had been filmed and was now viral. Leo had posted a long thread that evening, claiming I was an obsessed stalker fan who had ambushed them in the parking garage after their official announcement. He alleged that I had delusional fantasies about Stella being my girlfriend and had severely damaged her reputation. Attached was a shoddy-looking lawyer's letter. Stella, far from staying silent, had corroborated his story. She claimed I had been harassing her for months and that she lived in constant fear. The public, naturally, ate it up. They called me a pervert, a stalker. Her fans tagged the police, demanding my arrest. It explained the disgusted looks from the nurses. This is unbelievable, I muttered, looking at a picture of Stella from her post. She looked pale and frightened, a brilliant performance. All my hard work, I thought with bitter irony, had turned her into a truly phenomenal actress. After Sarah left, I posted a clarification from my own account. At first, it went unnoticed, but soon Stella and Leo's fans found it, and, in their attempt to mock me, made it trend. The comments were a cesspool of hatred. No one believed me. Just then, the door to my room opened, and Stella swept in. Liam, don't waste your energy, she said, her voice devoid of warmth. Do you really think anyone will believe a word you say? Does it matter to you? I replied flatly. She sat down, studying me for a long moment. Take some time off. I'll transfer the title of our apartment to you. Her arrogance was breathtaking. I raised an eyebrow. And what do you want in return? Pleased by my perceptiveness, her tone softened. All you have to do is post a confession. Admit that you're an obsessed fan. I stared at her in disbelief. Do you have any idea what that would do to my life? It would be social suicide. I searched her face for a trace of remorse, but found only cool calculation. Don't be so dramatic. The internet has a short memory. Once this blows over, I'll find you another job. We can even go on a trip abroad together, just us. A harsh laugh escaped me. Even now, she thought she could manipulate me. What's so funny? She frowned. A trip with me? Aren't you engaged to Leo? I think you should be planning your honeymoon. Her expression flickered. What are you talking about? I'm not marrying Leo. Stop acting. I heard everything at the hospital. Liam. Save it. I cut her off. You want me to be your stepping stone? Dream on. She shot up from her chair. Liam, you're going to help me, one way or another. Don't forget, you owe me your life. My face turned to ice. And don't you forget, I paid that debt yesterday in the parking garage. I pressed the call button for the nurse. Seeing this, she glared at me. This is all your fault. If you hadn't started a fight, none of this would have happened. With a final, parting shot of "You'll regret this," she slammed the door behind her. After she left, I went back on social media and tagged both her and Leo. You say I'm a stalker? Then call the police and have me arrested. Otherwise, I'll be suing you for defamation and slander. Attached to my post was a legitimate, ironclad letter from my family's legal team, not the Photoshop garbage they had used. My direct challenge took everyone by surprise. A few people started questioning the narrative, though most still saw me as a clown seeking attention. Half an hour later, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Leo. Liam, I know you were with Stella for 5 years, but she loves me now. So, I said coldly. So, stop harassing her. Can't you see she can't stand you anymore? His smugness was palpable even through the phone. I was about to hang up when his next words froze my hand. Did you really think we only met 6 months ago? Ha ha ha. Liam, you poor, pathetic fool. Stella and I are childhood sweethearts. We've known each other for 18 years. My breath hitched. What did you say? Your birthday is May 18th, right? Has Stella ever celebrated it with you? Do you know why? Because she was in my bed. I told her not to go. The year before last, when you had appendicitis, you couldn't reach her, could you? That's because we were on vacation in Europe. I told her to block your number, and she did. And this leading role? Stella got it for me. She even took no salary for the film just to make sure I was cast. Do you know why she suddenly said yes to my proposal? Because she's pregnant, Liam. We're having a baby. Face it, next to me, you will always be a loser. When the call ended, the veins in my hand stood out as I gripped the phone. Leo's cruel laughter echoed in my head. All this time, while I was planning our future, she was with him. She had never truly loved me. All our shared memories now felt tainted, disgusting. Even though my love for her was dead, the humiliation of being so thoroughly deceived was a fire in my gut. I had wanted a clean break, But after this, I couldn't just walk away. They deserved to be exposed. I found the recording of the call. My father, a shrewd businessman who learned from past mistakes, had developed a proprietary phone for our family with a built-in, automatic call recording feature. Leo never would have guessed. I uploaded the raw audio file to the internet with a simple caption. 5 years of my life. In the end, it was all just a joke. The post exploded. Within minutes, it was the #1 trending topic. Holy crap, that's really Leo's voice. Since when are homewreckers this arrogant? I thought they were a golden couple. Turns out they're just trash. Is this recording real? Stella doesn't seem like that kind of person. Not only did she cheat, she's pregnant. They had the nerve to slander the assistant? Get them out of the entertainment industry. How do we know this isn't fake to frame them? My phone was inundated with calls and messages. Stella sent hundreds of frantic texts, all demanding I delete the post and issue a retraction. I ignored them all and blocked her number. Soon after, her and Leo's PR teams released coordinated statements claiming the recording was a malicious fabrication and they reserved the right to sue me. I just laughed. I uploaded the source file for the recording. The truth is the truth. The lies are lies. I welcome any and all forensic analysis. If it's fake, I'll pay 10 times the damages. The internet devolved into a war zone between believers and skeptics. I, on the other hand, turned off my phone and had the most peaceful sleep I'd had in a week. I was shaken awake by a frantic Stella. Her face, pale and streaked with tears, was inches from mine. Liam, are you insane? Do you know what you've done? You've ruined me. I pushed her away. I'm not insane. In fact, I've never been more clear-headed in my life. You played me for a fool for 5 years. Where do you think you'd be without me? Her aggression dissolved into pleading. Liam, I can explain everything. Please, just post that it was all a lie. I'm begging you. Tears streamed down her beautiful face. A face so lovely, hiding a heart so rotten. I reached out and gently wiped a tear from her cheek. The tenderness of the gesture made her think I was softening. Liam, don't cry, Stella. They say it's bad for the baby. You must love your child with Leo very much. No, it's not like that, Enough, I said, my voice weary. You've been acting for 5 years. Aren't you tired? Because I'm tired of watching. Her expression hardened. Liam, if you help me one last time, I'll marry you. I had to laugh. Did she really think I was still that desperate for her? Absolutely not. I have no interest in raising another man's child. Get out before I call security. After kicking her out, I checked myself out of the hospital. I knew they wouldn't give up this easily. They were planning something else. And they were. That night, Stella went live. On screen, she looked fragile and broken, her hair disheveled and her eyes red-rimmed. Liam was my assistant, she began, her voice trembling. We were together, it's true, but only for 6 months. I broke up with him because he was controlling. He interfered with my work, and he flew into a rage if I even spoke to other men. He was violent. She choked on a sob, showing photos of bruises, props, and makeup from various film shoots. The live chat erupted with outrage. He also has a gambling problem, she continued, her voice gaining strength. He took almost every dollar I earned. He stole my jewelry too. So, even a priceless heirloom my mother left me. She displayed falsified bank transfer records totaling nearly $5 million. I know why he's slandering me and Leo online. He wants money. A lot of money. But even after all this, I just want him to stop before he ruins his life completely. Her performance was flawless. The evidence, though fabricated, was compelling. Public opinion, which had started to sway in my favor, swung back against me with a vengeance. I was branded an abuser, a gambler, a thief. My social media account was suspended. But Stella and Leo didn't get to celebrate for long. An official post from the Sterling Corporation's main account landed like a nuclear bomb. At Stella, you think the sole heir to the Sterling Corporation, Liam Sterling, needs your pocket change? As for domestic abuse, don't flatter yourself. Below the text was an exhaustive, evidence-backed list of every resource, investment, and connection I had used over the past 5 years to build her career. It laid out, in excruciating detail, one simple fact. Without Liam Sterling, there would be no Stella. I knew it was my mother's work. When she decided to act, she didn't pull punches. The post obliterated Stella's narrative and her career along with it. Her live stream was flooded with so much hate. It was forced to shut down. Within a night, she lost millions of followers. Endorsement deals vanished, leaving her with astronomical breach of contract fees. The beloved actress became a pariah. With my identity revealed, my account was reinstated. I forwarded my mother's post and wrote out the entire timeline of my relationship with Stella from beginning to end. This time, everyone believed me. OMG, Stella is an idiot. She threw away a prince for a leech. Thank you, Stella, for releasing such a great man back into the world. Stella and Leo need to be banned from the industry forever. I bet she's crying her eyes out right now. Poor Liam. 5 years of his life wasted on a snake. Stella wasn't just cancelled, she was bankrupt. But the public wasn't done with her. A photo of her at an abortion clinic was leaked online. People tagged Leo, telling him to take responsibility. But Leo was too busy saving his own skin. He released a statement claiming the child wasn't his. Enraged, Stella posted screenshots of their hotel bookings, proving he was lying. In retaliation, Leo leaked every piece of dirt he had on her. The internet feasted on their mutual destruction. I paid none of it any attention. I had officially joined the Sterling Corporation, and my days were filled with work. The name Stella had become physically nauseating to me, and everyone in the company knew not to mention her. I thought I would never have to see her again. I underestimated her shamelessness. She waited for me outside the Sterling Corporation headquarters, ambushing me as I left. Liam, I finally found you. I shook her hand off me in disgust. What are you doing here? Get lost before I call security. She clung to my arm. Liam, I was wrong. I truly was. Please, give me one more chance. I laughed coldly. A chance to do what? Slander me again? No, it wasn't me. Leo tricked me. Please, forgive me. No. Looking at you makes me sick. When she saw her pleas were having no effect, she resorted to threats. Liam, don't you forget that I saved your life. Are you really going to be so ungrateful? I'll tell the whole world. A cynical smile touched my lips. And don't you forget that I already paid that life back to you. If it weren't for that fact, do you honestly think you'd be standing here right now after you pushed me in front of a car? A crowd of my employees was starting to gather. I had no more patience. I waved over security, and they dragged her away. When my father heard about the incident, he transferred me to our overseas division. By the time I returned, a year had passed, and I didn't come back alone. My fiancée was with me. We were home to plan our engagement party. But even after a year, Stella's ghost still haunted me. She somehow found out about my engagement. The night before the party, I received a call from a blocked number. Liam, if you dare get engaged to another woman tomorrow, I'll kill myself. I glanced at the screen, said you're insane, and hung up. The next day, our engagement party went off without a hitch. Taking my fiancé's hand, I knew, with a certainty that filled my entire being, that I had finally found my own happiness.